Good morning. This is Daniel, and this is Shifting Perspectives, all a part of Self Mastery Soup. And this is part of my 20 minutes or so of looking at a different topic and see if we can shift their perspective into a higher frequency. And it's different every time. And of course, this time I feel like talking about Christmas. And here it is. I think it's the 20th or so. And we're getting really close to the Christmas, and a lot of things are starting to line up. And a lot of other feelings are coming up. So my wife and I got married twice, and our public wedding was on May 1st, but our private wedding was on Christmas Day. And the reason why we chose Christmas Day is because we couldn't get around the fact that everything in her astrological chart was lining up for that day. Everything in my chart was lining up for that day, and then everything between us together was lining up for that day. You can't you can't get away from that. And of course, we didn't want to didn't really want to have our wedding on that day, because it does kind of can confuse things and kind of blend things together. But we couldn't get away from this. Well, we kept getting from different people that know a lot about the energies and planetary alignments and all the things that we do, that if we were to get married on that day, everything would be in the best energy and the best frequency for our um, long-term relationship, and filled with abundance and love and all those things. And we said, God, how can we pass that up? We tried different dates, but this date was so powerful. And I think about this when this comes up every year, what it means for a lot of people. And it can mean unconditional love, and it could mean giving and receiving, and um, really acknowledging what's really important in your life, and acknowledging Christ, and all these different things. And it can also mean anxiety and obligation and guilt and stress. So I just want to address this so we can all kind of get into the right frequency, vibration, mindset, and perspective on this. So, one of the movies that comes up in my mind that I want to watch again, I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's A Wonderful Life. And this one really, and there's other ones too, where I forget what it's called, where the guy meets the ghost of Christmas past and ghost of Christmas present and future. And when we see these movies, we really tie into this idea: what if we were to die and we were to come back and we'd have another chance to really show up in a different way? That we realized that we had been judging people and putting people in little boxes. And what if we came back and said, okay, I'm going to give this one more chance and show up in a different way? And that's what I want to present to you and to myself. What if I just showed up in love? What if I shined my brightest light for this day? What if that my focus was not about making sure I got the right gift, or making sure that I cooked the right food, or making sure that I got there on time, or that hopefully that person was there or wasn't there, that I just showed up in my brightest light, and all what my mind was trying to tell me, what my mind was trying to get me to focus on, was not important, except for shining my brightest light. Wow, that's a big one, to shine your brightest light no matter what. And I know what you mean when you say, "Yeah, sometimes, Daniel, it's not that hard, or it's not that easy, because my grandfather's an alcoholic, or my father abused me when I was a kid, and I have to you know see that every Christmas, and it's not an easy thing, where my mother puts me down, and they keep on just talking crap about me every time, and it's hard to be there. I know that, I realize that, but I also know that there's a certain place that your blood family is playing in your life. And sometimes we put it in a very limited perspective, that they're here to be our perfect mother, be our perfect father. No, they're not perfect, but they're doing the best they can. Let's take that beyond what our mind says and what society says. Could it be that you were all part of a tribe, a galactic tribe, that you all made the decision to come from pure love, unconditional love, from a realm of only love, and you would do this together. And the work that you would work out, the themes that you would express and engage in, are things that you would work on for humanity. Just imagine that concept. I know it's a pretty lofty concept, but imagine if that was true, that the way that you showed up in front of family, and you realize that they were actually your partners. They're actually here to help you and your soul evolve. That this is a kind of a playground, a working ground for you to work these things out. And all the resistance that you've had over the years has not been in alignment with getting that to be fully realized. And I just recently kind of had an epiphany about somebody that I know, that's showing up in a certain way that causes me to judge him and see him in a certain way. And I said, what if I just gave him what he needed? And I know that I've seen this about my wife or other people in my life. And I speak about this in relationship counseling. What if he just gave her what she needed? Or what if he just gave him what he needed? Wow. But I don't want to give them what they need because they're an asshole. But what if you did? What if that person is trying to get attention or validation or something like that? What if you just gave that to them without any judgment, without any recourse or reciprocation needed or anything on your end? What if you just, if that person really needed to be the in the head of everything and be the leader of everything, you just let them be the leader and you just gave them that for this time? Wow, what an amazing experience that might be. I want to also talk about what's been happening lately in the past 2 years. One perspective is that it's been a time of separation, that we're being ordered and coerced and um, what's the other word? Invited to separate ourselves, to not look at each other, to not hug each other, not kiss each other, right in the time that when we're like this on our phones, where it's a perfect time for us to actually engage. And here comes COVID, and we're told that we need to be further away. We need to lock ourselves into our house and not engage with people the way that love says that we need to engage. There's that piece there that's been happening, and there's also been a feeling of shame and guilt kind of around, should I get the vaccination? Should I not? Should I wear a mask? Should I not? All those things on top of all this stuff that we go through all the time. There's that added guilt, obligation, and shame. Wow, what a powerful time this holiday season, as the planets line up, as the energies come together, as we as families come together to bring this into a fruition of, regardless of what was being played out and focused on in the past, that we use this most powerful time to focus on what it is that we want, and let this be something that's based out of love and not fear and not protection. That what if this is our last Christmas? How do we want to show up? Wow, that's a powerful thing I just said. What if this is your last Christmas? How do you show up? Do you keep people away? Do you not say what you really want to say in your heart? Do you not receive like you've been wanting to receive, and you've been playing it down because you're so busy taking care of everyone else and cooking all the food and make sure all the presents are wrapped and make sure everyone else gets all the stuff? What about you? What about this last Christmas where you let yourself receive? As much as you give, allow yourself to receive. Yes, this is a time of giving, but you know what happens? When you receive, you give to the other person, because that other person is you. There are no other people except you. I know that's a kind of a weird concept, but imagine you trying your best to give somebody something that would really make you feel good. You know how good it feels to give from your heart. Imagine that person saying, "Oh, no, 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 you shouldn't have. No, don't do that. No, I can't take that." Oh, you know how that feels. It's not a, it's not a free giving. It's not a, such a liberating feeling when you give. So when you receive something from someone, whether it's a compliment or a gift or help, and totally receive that, and all you say is thank you, or oh, so appreciate this. Thank you so much. Wow, imagine the flow of energy, the flow of gratitude and appreciation and love. Because when you do that, then you're kind of saying to God, the universe, creator, source, yes, I will receive. So the question is, if you've been giving, 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 and not being able to receive, how can God give to you? How can the universe give to you? So now is your opportunity to not only give from your heart, not from obligation, but give from your heart. If you don't have any presents for that particular person, and you don't have time to go get that present that you think that might person might, it's like fulfill that obligation, drop it. Just give them your heart. Just give them a beautiful compliment and admiration or acknowledgement, gratitude or something. Man, that is so powerful. I hope you understand. I didn't have time to, with all this going on, I didn't have time to give a gift, but I want to tell you something from my heart. Oh, can you feel that? Can you feel that the greatest gift is that love right from your heart? Oh, wow, I've been so busy doing all this stuff, and here you are in front of me. What do I have to give you? All I have to give you is my heart right now. And you just check in, just listen to your heart, just say, I just need a moment. This is so powerful, you guys. I just need a moment. You know what I love about you? I love the way you smile at me when I come in the room. I love the way that you acknowledge my assets. I love the way that you're always there for people. And I love the way you show up in the world. I just want to say thank you, because inside you're going, maybe this is my last Christmas. And then you want to say exactly what's in your heart to that person. And if anything wants to come out of your mouth that is not of love, that is out of some kind of resentment or something, realize that is the egoic mind trying to make one last statement. And now is not the time to do it. Now is the time to completely open yourself to love. If this is the last time that you're going to be able to do this, maybe this is your last Christmas, or maybe it's their last Christmas. What do you want to say to them that will be of love and understanding and compassion and empathy? So my focus is about realizing that this is a super powerful time in the year. And I understand that this is not, December 25th is not the original birth date of Jesus, but nevertheless, what a powerful time to focus on that and to celebrate that, because there's a planetary alignment going on. With all planetary alignments, wow, what a time to really focus in on what you want to create. So I guess I'm really hitting that really sincerely, just making sure that we don't go into an event like this with guilt, obligation, or resentment. Um, and to give yourself permission. I know this is a hard one to think about, but to give yourself permission to not go to a place where you're not loved. If you are preparing yourself to go to a place that you really feel that there is an abusive environment, that you take a stand and love yourself and don't go to that place out of obligation. So there's this, it's not a black and white thing that I'm talking about. There are some gray areas here. There are some areas of healing and integration and resolution. And then there's the other end of it where people are very abusive, and I've heard of families like that. And man, there's no place for you there. And whatever it is that causes your greatest excitement, that's what I was taught. And that seems to really work out. And people are going to have their opinions and their reactions to your decision to love yourself. But of all times, of all places, this is the time to completely love yourself. So we've all been going through a lot lately, and a lot of separation and anxiety and guilt and obligation and shame. And wow, really is a perfect time to let all that be gone, let that go, and surrender to this date or to this season, and allow yourself to shine your brightest light. I want to give you some practical awareness or tools to go into something, like instead of just going in and doing the best that you can, go in with the energy that you are going into the room or into the house or to the scene to shine your light. That you're not going in there to protect yourself or do the best to react to aunt this or uncle that. That you go in there, that you're going to go and shine the light. I'm not talking about being more spiritual or more Christian or anything. I'm just talking about shining your light and emanating that into the room from you, not from anyone else, but from you, from your heart. Imagine what that would be like for you to shine that light. And as people do things and say things that would normally trigger you, maybe you become a certain person that your family doesn't recognize. And they don't see that. They don't see your light. So there's part of that is you looking at what it is that your egoic mind or what yourself, what is it upset about? What does that bring up in you? Does it bring up lack of validation? That's a big one. That's a big one for a lot of families, that we go out into the world and we become something different that's unrecognizable sometimes by our blood family. And then we go back into that and they go, who the hell do you think you are? I'm the light. Yeah, you're the light. So there is work in that of, needing that external validation. But again, I'm just going to come right back to, if I recognize that the whole world, including my family, is here to love and support me. Sometimes they outwardly love and support me in the most beautiful way, like my family does. And then there's other family that loves you in a way that says, I'm testing you. I want to see how much in the light you are and how much you're going to let your egoic reactions and triggers rule the day. So imagine, if you will, that every single person is here to love and support you. Not your egoic self, but your soul's evolution. Just keep on imagining it. Nope, they're here to love and support me. And your mind may say, well, they're being mean to me, they're being angry with me, but they're not seeing me, or they're interrupting me, or whatever the thing is. Don't get lost in the details of what's the physical thing that's happening. What's the energy? What's being played out? How's that making you feel? It really is a great opportunity for you to heal and integrate down and up the ancestral lines of your life. Everyone before you and everyone after you, there's a certain theme that's going on. And like you've probably heard me say many times before, my theme has been guilt and obligation, not feeling significant, appreciated, or acknowledged. So if I go into a family situation during Christmas time and I start feeling that, I can stop blaming them. And I realize that this has just been part of my theme, and it's not where I am now, but it may trickle up and kind of test me. Okay, here, where are you at this? Where are you on this whole theme right now? Are you as far along as you thought you were or not? And again, if I look at everyone and say, okay, they're here for me. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this up in me so I could look at it. And I can let go of this idea that Christmas time, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the holiday season is all supposed to be this perfect time of celebration. And it may not be. It may not be because things get triggered. But it is a perfect time of soul evolution. And imagine if you went into, let's paint this picture. Let's say you went into a celebration knowing that in the past there was some lack of validation, lack of unconditional love, and those kind of things. Every once in a while they pop up. As a whole, there was a pretty good experience, but Uncle Fred, he says these things, or my father does these things. But if you went in there with this light and said, okay, Let's do this differently this time. Let's look at our own triggers. Let's look at our own reactions and how I've been playing into that year after year. Let's do this differently. Everybody gets to show up how they're going to show up. And then my work is to work on how I react to everybody showing up that way. And then you do. And then you not only celebrate this most sacred time, but you celebrate your own evolution. You celebrate your own awakening and integration of old wounds. Wow, what a celebration that would become. Sort of, if you can think of it as the birth of your own self, the birth of your new self, the new version, the birth of the Christ within you. Wow, what a time. Bring it on. Bring in the birth of the Christ within me. Wow. What do I need to birth the Christ within me? What do I need to let go of? All kinds of limited beliefs and old negative patterns, and all those things that I've held on to as my story. Because that's the inevitable conclusion is when we let go of those things, what's left there is Christ consciousness. And what I understand is that beneath all of our illusion and distortion of reality is Christ consciousness, that there is no other thing but that. But we cover it up with all these different mind programs. So what an opportunity to go into the time of Christ, the time of Christ consciousness, the time of birth of Christ consciousness. Wow, we can engage in that. I can't think of a better, more intimate, more true, more closer way to become closer to Christ and the consciousness of Christ than doing what we can to release that which separates us from that. Wow, what a time. Thank you so much for listening, for being here, and really glad that I had this time to speak this out, and that spirit spoke it out of my lips today. I love you. Thank you. Bless you. Have a wonderful holiday full of Christ consciousness, and I'll see you in the next year. I love you.